Welcome back to another episode in Learning Onshape. This is episode number 5. In episode 4, we learned how to build on faces of existing parts and looked again at the plane tool as a way to create work surfaces and then use the plane tool to split parts. So today, in this episode, we're going to be looking more at the sketch tool. So let's practice inserting a new element. Go to the bottom left. You see this plus, insert new element, click that, create a part studio. That's the only thing that we've been doing. And rename it. Always good to name things. So let's just do doodles. You can also move around the tabs if you want. And remember, Alt T, or the very bottom left, will toggle the tab manager, and you can move things around here. And filter, you can imagine having lots and lots of tabs. Okay, we are going to do some sketching, and I think we're going to ignore the origin. Again, sometimes the origin is helpful, and I'm just going to focus on one plane. Okay, we will select the top plane, either clicking here or over in the feature tree, hit sketch. We've entered the sketch. You know that we've entered the sketch level because the menu has changed. Press the letter N for normal, and we are good to go. So right now, let's just make a rectangle, okay? Pretty straightforward. Okay, we have a corner rectangle, center point rectangle, and let's just make that, okay? So click once, click again, and we are not worrying about dimensions, all right? Once you're ready to go, click the green check to save. And just for practice, let's extrude it. So select that surface, go up to extrude or Shift E. Because I've selected an area, Onshape already knows what region I want to extrude. Extrude it to some dimension and click the green check. And this is all review, so you know to rename your part, give it the color that you want, and we can modify, add, and do all sorts of things. So the point of doing this is just for practice, but really we're focused on the sketch. So enter back into the sketch, and remember, when you want to edit an existing sketch, do not press the sketch button up here, because that'll just create a new sketch. All right, let's edit the original sketch, and let's take a look at this rectangle. Onshape is a very powerful tool that is going to render or generate whatever graphics you tell it to. And we're going to dive a bit deeply into this. This might get a little technical, a little detail oriented, but it's very important because what happens is you end up starting to create things and things go wrong and you're not sure why Onshape is behaving a certain way. And very often it's just a matter of digging deep enough. So you might remember from a previous episode, we said how there's this button called Show Constraints. So let's click on that. And you see all of these icons. Now, if you wanted to pause the video, you could take a look at these icons. All right, when you mouse over them, they don't give you the name, but you can go up here to where all the sketch relations are, and you could match up all of these icons with whatever you see. So again, feel free, you can pause, take a look to try to match them up. All right, so we've got our rectangle, and if you try to click and drag it around, you'll see there's sort of certain ways to move it, and this is sort of the intuition of what you might want to do. I created this rectangle and now I want to move it around. Now, sometimes you cannot move it around because of the sketch relations. And these are all coincident, the corners. These are all parallel, and you're wondering, well, what two things are parallel? So mouse over the parallel, and you see the two orange things highlighted. Likewise with the top and bottom. Then you have this perpendicular relationship, right? You see that left vertical line and the bottom line, those are perpendicular, 90 degrees, and then this is horizontal. So all those things, when you picked up the rectangle tool, Onshape created those constraints. Now, as we move this, okay, because we have not given it any dimensions, Onshape is going to preserve the relationships here, okay, and then whatever dimensions, the sizes that can be changed because you have not given it sketch relations um, or dimensions, then it will move along with it. So let's see what happens as we delete these relationships. So let's click on that, press the delete key, take a look. What do you notice? You notice that the top and bottom edge no longer need to be parallel because the only parallel relationship is between the left and the right. And again, right now, this may be a bit overwhelming. You might need to rewind. You might need to pause a lot. But if you can understand this, this will really help you out in the future. So let's keep deconstructing. So let's delete the other parallel one. So click it, press the delete key, and now move it around. Okay, you might have to move different corners around. Aha! Okay, so you see that. And now we have no more parallel sides. Now let's just take a commercial break here. Click the green check if you want to save. If you click the X, it's actually going to not save any of the work that we just did. But if we click the green check, because it's still a closed area, boom, our extrude, the extrude command still listens to say, hey, whatever this face is, as long as it is a legitimate face, meaning it's a closed boundary, it's going to extrude it to whatever you just said. All right, let's go back to the sketch. Go back to the sketch. Let's continue deconstructing this. So show constraints. And sure, let's get rid of this perpendicular. All right, move it around. Aha, and you see now that corner doesn't have to be perpendicular. And now this weird thing happens where it's not even a quadrilateral anymore. And that's just based on whatever relationships these are. You notice this bottom edge is staying horizontal, but let's get rid of that one. Okay, move it around. Now that no longer has to be horizontal. And what do I mean horizontal? Horizontal would be parallel to the x-axis here. When it had that horizontal relationship, it had to maintain that orientation, but now no longer. And then you guessed it, we can deconstruct the coincidence. So all along, let's say this point, Onshape made sure that the endpoints of these two segments were always coincident. Now, no longer. Okay. And now that it's an open boundary, click the check. Onshape's like, whoa, what is going on? Did not regenerate properly. Select face or sketch region. And you're saying, hey, but I have a sketch. Well, it is not a closed boundary. You see this opening, so it is not extrudable. However, the moment that you, let's say, click and drag until it's coincident, or you can do click, click, and the letter I coincident, then you're back in business. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Now, let's actually do it the other way around. And just for practice, we're just going to delete everything. So we can use our selection rectangle, delete. And let's just build it up with our line tool, the letter L, and just sort of put 4 arbitrary points. And you'll notice that, let's say if you want to go vertical, Onshape's going to be like, hey, you want to be vertical? And right now we don't want that help. So hold the shift key on your keyboard. All right? I'm just going to do 4-sided figure. Okay, and try not to have any parallel sides or anything like that. And if we've done it right, now of course this last one I'm going to let go of shift. We do want that to be coincident. But if we've done it right, all we've got are those 4 coincident relationships. So right now, you notice we got our line tool picked up. We got the crosshairs here. We're going to press escape to drop the tool. And let's build up the relationships. Let's just say for ease, we'll just match what we saw before. So let's pick this bottom edge. Your shape might not look exactly like mine, so you might have to adjust it a little. We're going to make that horizontal, or press the letter H. All right, that's good. What else do you remember? We remember this and this. That was perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular does not have a keyboard shortcut. And then we're going to pick opposite sides. Going to be parallel. Okay, parallel is B. Also remember Alt-C. I'm going to mention this a lot. Alt-C. If you're not sure where something is, parallel, boom. Done. And then this last edge, let's just pause for a moment here. You notice how, okay, Onshape is maintaining these relationships here. We're going to click, click, and looks like parallel was the letter B. And boom, you are ready to go. Now, you're saying, hey, I made a closed sketch region. It's not extruding well. Sometimes you just need to remind Onshape the information. Just think of it as you've been confusing Onshape a lot. So we're going to clear the face and select it again. And there you go. Why does it do that? We don't know. But sometimes when we're learning this technology, you just turn it off and turn it back on. Deselect it and select it again. All right. One more thing, okay, to really drive this concept home. Let's go back. You have your rectangle. Okay, you either built the rectangle from scratch, which in reality you would never do. You would just use the tool. We can double check here. And what we're going to do, just a little bit of practice. We're going to pick our line tool. And we do want to make it coincident. Okay, so we're just going to sort of make our segment so it just intersects at some point. The only inference. The only help is just making it coincident. And let's connect it. Okay, boom. All right, drop the tool. And then now take a look at how, okay, you can actually move both the rectangle and the inscribed shape. Let's say we didn't want the top piece to move around, so we could pick that top one, and just for ease, we can just fix it, right? It means it's not going to go anywhere. All right, so just play around, move the dots. All right, now notice this left and right, okay? That's, if you wanted to fix that, you can. All right. And so this is just a simple exercise. Right now, we are coincident. Well, let's say we didn't want it, show constraints, and we're going to delete the coincident. Now, which one do we delete? Do we delete these two, or do we delete these two? Let's say we want to keep this inner shape together. So we actually want to maintain this coincident. Let's delete that. Delete it and give it a shot. Oh, good. Oh, well, yeah, okay, so that makes sense, right? Our shape is still maintained, but we can freely move it above and below that top edge, and OnShape is like, hey, you want to make it coincident again? All right, so let's free that and just go around and delete these pieces. Go around and make sure. Oops. Let's see, give it a try. All right, look, our shape is free. Did I do this one? I did. Okay. And then if you want, you can further deconstruct it. So again, we're just practicing here. Just practicing. All right, now let's say we bring it back together. We have two regions. Click the check mark. And OnShape interprets this as this weird hole inside the box. But you could say, hey, OnShape, I actually want to extrude it all. Okay. Now, actually, let's throw in one more thing. Let's say you have that. Sketch 1 is removed, yeah? Or hidden, I should say. We have this full thing. Let's actually see. Will this work or not? I'm going to try to use this shape to extrude the hole. Extrude. I want to pick this. All right. Okay. This may be something. Ah, we're adding. All right, we don't want to add. We want to remove. All right, opposite. Flip it. Okay, it worked. I was just seeing if it would allow me to pick from a sketch that exists before this extrude, and indeed it does. Okay, that was just a little something extra at the end. I think this is a good pausing point. So in this episode number 5, we're really focused on the sketch relationships, a few of them, and how to deconstruct and construct things. We'll have a few more episodes with sketches. Thanks again for listening.